Here are the top stories for today, July 10, 2019. A Lumad leader rebukes Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison for hiding overseas as eyepiece exposed the atrocities of the CPP-NPA. The AFP is looking into reports of an Egyptian terrorist couple plotting bombings in the country. Congressman Martin Romualdez is set to lead the House majority as Alan Peter Cayetano and Lord Alan Velasco share the speakership. And the Swedish embassy urges Filipino communities to be aware and stop gender-based violence.
Good day, I am Miguel Hill and welcome to the PNA Newsroom. As tribal leaders raise their voices to expose the atrocities of the CPP-NPA, they also took a chance to take a swipe at the leader of the communist movement. One of them said he will not hide overseas and abandon the indigenous peoples who believe in their cause. Benj Bondok has a report.
Unperturbed by whatever will come his way, a tribal leader said Monday he will never abandon his fellow indigenous peoples. In an interview at the Philippine Consulate General, Datu Ramon Bayaan of the Obu Manuvu tribe from Arakan, North Cotabato, said he will never leave his community to seek refuge someplace else, unlike what Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison did. Bayaan was answering queries from Chicago-based journalists who floated the idea of asylum after the former placed himself in the line of fire due to revelations that he and 7 other leaders made against the CPP-NPA. Bayaan also called Sison a coward for abandoning his country and fleeing to the Netherlands after peace talks failed in 1987. Malacanang had criticized Sison for leaving his comrades to fend for themselves while he settles for a comfortable life in Europe. Bayaan, the founding chairperson of Pasaka Confederation of Lumad Organizations in southern Mindanao, also said the lives of eyepiece are imprinted on their ancestral lands. He said their culture dictates for them to resolve miseries caused to their tribes wherever the sources may be. Bayaan appeals to all fellow Filipinos in the US to refuse support for communist-linked groups, especially those who disguise using solicited funds for eyepiece. He said only the National Commission on Indigenous People can legitimately carry the voice and aspiration of the eyepiece, not leftist groups like Bayan USA and Gabriela, among others. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondok.
Malacanang on Tuesday said the top military officials may have warned President Rodrigo Duterte about a possible coup. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made this remark a day after Duterte bared that the military was getting restive over corruption within the government. Panelo said President Duterte believes that the military could stage a coup if widespread corruption is unsolved. He said the military was very much aware of corruption within the government and may now be reacting to it. Panelo added that Duterte's call to lawmakers to amend the Constitution is considered part of his solution to curb corruption. For its part, the Armed Forces of the Philippines vowed today to remain loyal to the state amid reports of the alleged coup. AFP spokesman Brigadier General Edgar Arevalo maintained that the military is the protector of all Filipinos in the state. The police had also assured the president that there have been no plans of staging an uprising. Solicitor General Jose Calida has asked the Supreme Court to dismiss the petition filed against government agencies which seeks unspecified action on the disputed areas in the West Philippine Sea. Calida on Tuesday said the petition demonstrated a grave abuse of process. He cited that at least 3 of the supposed fisherfolk petitioners denied that they authorized the filing of the suits which had been supported by the Integrated Bar of the Philippines against the government in their behalf. He added that the IBP did not even allege what capacity it is suing or what injury it sustained. Calida said since petitioners claim it was China that is causing environmental degradation, it now becomes a matter of foreign relations, which places it under the jurisdiction of the Executive Department. SC spokesperson Brian Hosaka confirmed that the High Court decided to suspend the oral arguments in view of the submissions of the Solicitor General. The second regional town hall meeting opened at the provincial capital of Cebu City on Tuesday as part of the Duterte administration's efforts to bring government services closer to the people. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar led the opening of Dagyao 2019 Open Government and Participatory Governance Regional Dialogues as keynote speaker. In his message, Andanar said the administration seeks to encourage participation in governance between government agencies, the public, and other stakeholders. He said town hall forums like this is where the cabinet can get closer to the public to discuss issues and strengthen cooperation in government programs. Also attending the forum were Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia, Defense Undersecretary Cesariano, Tourism Assistant Secretary Roberto Alabado III, representatives from the DILG, DTI, and the DBM. Budget Assistant Secretary Rolando Toledo moderated the forum. The next Dagyao will be held next week in Davao City.
Dagyao or Bayanihan, in the language of our origins, is the name we have chosen to underline the concerted cooperation of the major pillars of our reformed governance. These are the people, the lead persons of the executive, and the president. This is the triumvirate convergence of the objective of Dagyao, which is simply the participation of the people in governance.
The military is looking into reports of an alleged Egyptian terrorist couple plotting bomb attacks in the country. Meanwhile, the LTFRB insists on disallowing the operations of Colorum TNVS drivers. More on this and other news around the metro from Janice Cave.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines has yet to receive information regarding the Egyptian couple allegedly plotting to conduct a series of bomb attacks in the country. The couple is reportedly in cahoots with the Abu Sayyaf group in setting off explosions in Sulu and are believed to be linked to the Indonesians responsible for the Holo Cathedral bombing last January. The AFP is pursuing leads to the perpetrators of the IED explosions in Sulu and Basilan and whether the Egyptian couple is connected. Meanwhile, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board says it will still not allow Colorum TNVS units from operating. LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra made the decision during the interagency consultation with TNVS groups where they asked for a moratorium on apprehensions of units without franchises. The LTFRB, however, vowed to ease the process of application for TNVS franchises. It also agrees to allow those with existing applications or renewal to operate under a provisional authority. In other news, the shipment of new railroad tracks for the MRT-3 have arrived. Over 4,000 pieces of 18-meter Japanese-made railroad track parts arrived at the Port of Manila. They are set to be brought to the tracks laydown yard near the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange for installation activities. The rest of the MRT-3's rail parts are expected to arrive in October, after which replacement of the tracks will take place next month. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Still to come, Congressman Martin Romualdez is set to leave the House majority as Alan Peter Cayetano and Lord Alan Velasco share the speakership. Germany investigates a quarantine breach that led to the ban of German meat products in the Philippines. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Tungod lagi kay pobre rami, ang akong ginikanan pobre, naara sa bukid nagpuyo ang ilang trabaho, umara. So akong naunawanan nga, kung mo, sampa na lang ko kay ang ingon nila, kaning MP ug sundalo, maura. Kung na sige, musampa na ko kay makatabang na ko sa akong ginikanan, asa pa kanang na 300 ang 3,000 ang bulan ug isa ka sa akong abuwas ug may mga kuan pa dilata. Ako di ay nakuampod ko collector, revolutionary tax. Collector sa mga kumpanya, sa mga tindahan, sa mga kabaw, sinso, ako itigkuha. Suswagid ko na sayo, ang ako di ang uyuan, ang among gidakop. Nadalagyod sa bukid. Ug gipatay gyud nila nga wala gyud duha-duha nga bisan pag nagluhod-luhod ko sa ilang atubangan sa akong CEO. Ug pila pa gyud kauyuan ang ilang gipatay, upat uyuan ako ang gipatay nila. Kay kadtong isa na iyang barkada sundalo. Pag abot sa ilang balay gikuha, gigapos. Kay intelligent daw siya. Kadtong year 2015, murag nakaamgo na ko nga mali man, murag mali man nga nung ibagsak man nato ang gobyerno. Nga kung hunaw-naon, ang MPA ba nakahatag bag eyepiece, nakahatag bag purpose, yung pa na ako. So, ang gobyerno nagtabang unta sa ato.
We are certain that the communist terrorists will mark us as a nation because of what we are doing here right now. They will hit and try to kill us. Our strength comes from our community, our culture, and our people who are worth every single drop of blood that we'll shed.
Very sad because here we live the Filipinos here, especially those Filipino Americans, they live comfortable lives. Life goes on normally, but still I realize marami tayong kababayan na nagsasuffer over there. And they just want peace in their life.
Para sa akin, what I do is make videos and influence others from social media. So ang mas magandang gawin ko ron is make my own opinion and share to the world kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanila.
Later, Representative Martin Romualdez has accepted to be the next House Majority Leader following President Rodrigo Duterte's pronouncement on the House leadership issue. Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda said on Tuesday that they unanimously agreed to follow the wish of the President on the speakership. Duterte earlier announced that Taguig City Representative Alan Peter Cayetano and Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco will share the speakership post, while Romualdez would be the next majority leader. Salceda said the lawmakers have asked the incoming majority leader to develop robust and dynamic relations with the new speaker. He said the House is confident that under Cayetano's leadership, they can deliver and contribute to the national agenda and mobilize national consensus and support to the administration's programs. The Partyless Coalition Foundation Incorporated has also accepted President Duterte's endorsement of Cayetano as well as a term-sharing condition. House members will formally elect the next speaker on July 22, hours before the President will deliver his fourth State of the Nation address. The Bureau of Customs is already coordinating with the Manila City government in managing traffic, particularly in the port area and North Harbor. Customs Assistant Commissioner Vincent Maronilla noted that this is to ensure Manila Mayor Isko Moreno that the BOC will be his partner in implementing changes in the city. Maronilla said they plan to ensure that the impending increase in imports will not significantly affect the traffic situation in the Manila port areas. He said the level of traffic at the ports has become heavy because of increased activity, but still manageable. The Port of Manila and the Manila International Container Ports are congested during the Burr months since the volume of cargoes increases with the holiday season. Moreno earlier warned village chiefs in the areas along the R10 road to stop the illegal parking racket where they allegedly collect 1,000 pesos a day from each truck parked at the thoroughfare. The German embassy in Manila said consultations are ongoing about the German company's reported breach of quarantine protocol for African swine fever. This after the Department of Agriculture ordered to ban all meat products from Germany last week. The ban was imposed following the confiscation of a meat shipment from Germany containing pork from Poland, a country hit by African swine fever. German Ambassador to Manila Gordon Crick on Tuesday said they plan to discuss the situation with Philippine authorities and see what can be done to allow again German meat imports to the Philippines. ASF causes high fever, loss of appetite, hemorrhages, and death among domestic and wild pigs. According to the DA, the swine industry is one of the biggest contributors to agricultural growth with over 16% increase in gross earnings, and the risk of ASF entering the country would result in great losses in the sector. A 5.3 magnitude earthquake hit parts of Mindanao on Tuesday night. In its latest earthquake bulletin, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said the earthquake was of tectonic origin. The epicenter was traced near Makilala, North Cotabato, with a depth of focus of 5 kilometers. The temblor was felt at intensity 4 in Kidapawan City. Other areas where shaking occurred in the cities of Davao, Coronadal, Cagayan de Oro, and Cotabato. PhilVolc said aftershocks are expected to occur. Meanwhile, classes in parts of South Cotabato have been suspended after more than 10 aftershocks followed last night's quake. In Magpet, North Cotabato, students were sent home after a 4.9 magnitude earthquake rocked the town this morning. Parts of Magpet National High School were reported to have cracks caused by frequent quakes. 2 municipalities in South Cotabato are planning to declare a state of emergency due to the rising cases of dengue these past months. Dr. Rogelio Aturdido Jr., head of the Integrated Provincial Health Office, said the towns of Surala and Tantangan posted the second and third highest incidence of dengue this year. As of June 29, the IPHO already recorded over 2,700 dengue cases and 16 confirmed deaths in the province. This figure is 128.4% higher from last year. Coronadal City posted the most number of cases with 507, followed by Surala with 342 and Tantangan with 336. Aturdido said the increase in dengue cases this year is mainly due to the erratic weather condition brought about by climate change. He said that they will later recommend the declaration of the entire province under a state of calamity if necessary. A power firm is eyeing the building of solar power plants in Binga and Ambuklao dams. Meanwhile, an IT center in Negros Occidental is named top-performing techno hub in Visayas. More on these and other news from the provinces from Janice Cave.
The Ambuklao and Binga hydroelectric plant reservoirs in Benguet are being looked into as possible locations for other floating solar power plants of SN Aboitiz Power. The firm says this will not only address the problem of farmlands being converted to solar fields but will also address the growing need for electricity. The plants will, however, consider the availability of sunlight due to constant fog and cloudy skies and will be likely smaller than the ones switched on in Magat on June 27. In Aurora Province, owners of at least 20 micro, small, and medium enterprises are now undergoing training through the Kapatid Mentor Me program of the Department of Trade and Industry. The participants comprise the third batch of trainees since the KMME was launched in the province in July 2017. The KMME program seeks to help MSMEs scale up their enterprises, spur economic activity, generate job opportunities, and mainstream one-town, one-product entrepreneurs who are ready for business expansion. Meanwhile, The Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center was awarded as the top-performing Tech for Ed hub in the Visayas Cluster 1 by the Department of Information and Communications Technology. School Administrator Maria Cristina Orbesido on Monday said the award is an indication of the center's sustained commitment to promote digital literacy in the countryside. In 2018, the DICT elevated NOLITC to the Hall of Fame of the National Tech for Ed Awards after 3 years of being a Center for Excellence. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, the Swedish Embassy urges Filipino communities to be aware and stop gender-based violence. Carl Montgomery plays for rain or shine after Denzel Bowles injures his knee. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Hey you! Sorry you couldn't make it to the Philippines, but it's okay. We haven't been up to much. There's just no escaping the heat. All we do is take showers. We're always on the move, yet we keep getting lost. We can't wait for the day to end, so we can just stay in at night. I'm kidding! We're having a blast. We haven't stopped eating and partying all day. Plus, we've made a bunch of friends. The only thing that would make it better is if you were here too.
The Swedish Embassy in Manila is hoping that communities would adopt their own awareness campaign against gender-based violence. The embassy continues to promote the Respeto Naman initiative, a program that seeks to bring the issue of rape and sexual harassment into the mainstream. Swedish Ambassador Harold Fries on Tuesday said the message of Respeto Naman needs to reverberate not just in Metro Manila but also the furthest towns of the Philippines. He pointed out the sufficiency of laws protecting women from exploitation, harassment, and rape, and whether social norms are enabling a culture of abuse of women. Maika Teves, Executive Director of the Samahan ng mga Pilipina para sa Reforma at Kaunlaran, also expressed hopes government policy would add this campaign under the country's Gender and Development Program. Fries also introduced Binibining Pilipina supranational Resham Said as the Respeto Naman campaign celebrity ambassador. On July 18, the movement will take on its first Visayas leg in Cebu City, starting with the exhibit display of Don't Tell Me How to Dress at the Ayala Center, Cebu. In our foreign news, torrential rains and flash floods on Monday hammered the Washington, D.C. region. The National Weather Service said the storm dumped about 6.3 inches of rain near Frederick, Maryland, about 4.5 inches near Arlington, Virginia, and about 3.4 inches at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport in 2 hours. The massive flooding left drivers stranded, poured into metro stations, and soaked the White House basement and many others. The flooding also led to electrical outages that closed the National Archives Museum. No injuries were reported in the capital city. In Montgomery County, Maryland, emergency workers responded to dozens of rescue calls and used boats to pluck people from flooded cars. By early afternoon, thousands of residents remained without power. Transportation services were also halted or forced to follow speed restrictions. In sports, Carl Montgomery is playing for rain or shine in the PBA Commissioner's Cup. The Elasta Painters brought in Montgomery to replace Denzel Bowles, who was ruled out for the rest of the conference after hurting his knee last Saturday. Bowles had collided with Jeron Teng late in the second quarter against Alaska game when he heard something crack in his knee. Doctors said Bowles sustained medial meniscus tear and a small medial collateral ligament tear. The Elasto Painters are currently tied for 6th place with the Phoenix Pulse Fuel Masters at 4-5 and scrambling to make the 8th team quarterfinals. The 6'8", 30-year-old Montgomery joined the Elasto Painters in practice Monday following a stint with the JD Unicorns in the Malaysian Pro League. Montgomery played for 4 seasons with Chicago in the US NCAA before taking his talent to Latvia, Estonia, and Belgium. Residents of Marawi City continue to receive assistance as part of rehabilitation efforts in their community. Some of them have become success stories, such as one who established a furniture shop with the government's help. More on this from Sweet Lukman.
It all started when Task Force Bangon Marawi Chairperson and Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario announced during the Interagency Consultation Dialogue last March 18 at Lanao del Sur Provincial Gymnasium that the Department of Social Welfare and Development was about to provide the Catanor-registered Marawi internally displaced persons with 73,000 worth of cash assistance. Tangote de Mangadap, 26, who at the time was temporarily staying at the Bakwit village in Matungao town, Lanao del Norte with his wife Jamila and 3 children, felt excited to hear the good news because his village was last to receive the livelihood settlement grant of 20,000 and transitory family support package of 53,000. Di Mangadap saw how his fellow IDPs spent the money after receiving it. Then he told his wife his plan on how he will spend it. Di Mangadap was working before the Marawi siege at the furniture shop owned by his family in Wawalayan, Marinaot, a small village at the southern part of the most affected area or ground zero. So after receiving the DSWD's cash assistance, he and Jamila decided to have their own furniture shop.
Sa mga katulad kong bakwit, payo ko lang sa inyo na ang matatanggap niyong pera, idaan niyo sa mabuting paraan. Huwag i-shopping kasi ang pera parang tubig yan na mawawala.
He bought a wood slicer machine, 3 planer machines, other furniture tools, and rented a place in Matampay, Marawi City, which also became his family's new home. Project Development Officer Jamila Taha of DSWD 10 said of the Mangadap's story.
Inaasahan natin na gagamitin nila ito tulong pinansyal una sa kanilang negosyo, sa kanilang pagbangon.
As of today, the DSWD is still waiting for the TFBM Field Office's endorsement of the new list of Catanor registrants before it can start with the second round of cash assistance distribution to legitimate homeowners from Marawi's most affected area. For PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
The country can expect gloomy weather in the coming days. This is the southwest monsoon affects extreme northern Luzon, bringing cloudy skies and isolated rain showers. Meantime, let's check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
A Lumad leader rebukes Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison for hiding overseas as IPs expose the atrocities of the CPP-NPA. The AFP is looking into reports of an Egyptian terrorist couple plotting bombings in the country. Congressman Martin Romualdez is set to lead the House majority as Alan Peter Cayetano and Lord Alan Velasco share the speakership. And the Swedish Embassy urges Filipino communities to be aware and stop gender-based violence.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look at these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am Miguel Hill. Good day.